Hey guys, my name's Ben Howard. Today we're out here at Holston Creek Reds to film a battle between the Luft Xenon and the Goliath Discs Chainbreaker. If you haven't seen the previous videos in this series, basically what I'm doing is I'm taking a disc out of my bag and comparing it to another disc that I either find is similar or would fill that same slot in a different or interesting way. Film a 9-hole battle between the two, and then at the end, the winner goes into my bag and the loser gets given away to one of y'all in the comments. On the last video I did in this series, I asked y'all for some recommendations for the name of this series. One of y'all gave me the basis for this. I don't remember the person's name, but I'm gonna put them up on the screen. I did have to change it a little bit because I feel like it works better as who will make the bag, but thank you so much for giving me that idea. But when it comes to discs we're actually looking at today, we've got these two, which are basically supposed to be those overstable fairway drivers, your Firebirds, Cap Wraps, whatever else you can think of. The Xenon's been in my bag for about a year now, and I really like these because, as you can tell for both of these, there we are, they're very flat. Like, they don't have a lot of depth in the hand, they don't have a lot of dome to them. They just feel very shallow in the hand, and that's what I really like in a forehand. That shallower feel makes it to where I don't feel like I grip lock it as consistently or as hard with these shallow discs as compared to like something like a Cap Wrap, which feels very deep in my hand and don't really like that much. But when it comes to the Chainbreaker, the main thing that makes me want to put this in the bag is obviously I'm sponsored by Goliath, and so I want to have as many of their discs in my bag as possible. But as you can tell, like if you've seen my previous videos on these, you probably know these are supposed to be like tilts a lot of times, but these runs came out with a little bit of dome to them. Just came out like a lot nicer. While they are still really overstable, they're nowhere near that like tilt level of overstability. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. So let's go ahead and get into the video. All right guys, so for hole one, we've got a par 3, 200 feet. Basket's just straight ahead. Biggest thing you gotta pay attention to those, we've got a low ceiling and the basket's uphill slightly. So just gotta kind of hit this coin slot. We're gonna be trying to go to the left side of this tree. Probably put a little bit of flex on these, but I'm trying to just keep them as flat as I possibly can. Let's see, Xenon's gonna get the box since it's the disc actually in my bag. Okay, I think that's like at least inside a circle, but I don't really need that much angle on it, so we'll try and throw the Chainbreaker a little bit flatter. There we go. Skip. Yeah. I think both of them are a little short, but they should be some makeable putts. Oh, pulled it. Alright guys, so for hole 2, this one's a par 3, 250 feet. This one we're going straight for like 100 feet, and then the fairway pretty much dog legs right. So this is a perfect shot for these discs where I want to throw them on like a touch of hyzer right at this tree and just see if I get them to have a nice big skip near the end. Let's see, Chainbreaker took the box. Okay. I got it to skip a little bit sooner than I meant for it to. I meant for it to skip like right at that tree instead of short of it, but that should be fine. Let's see if I can get it better with the Luft. That's better. Oh yeah. That might be putting, we'll see. Okay, so something a little interesting. The Xenon's actually over here off to the right side and kind of in the rough, where the Chainbreaker ended up in the middle. The Chainbreaker ended up where I thought it would, but I figured the Xenon would end up, you know, up in this area in front of the Chainbreaker, so I guess it had a little bit more angle than Chainbreaker. That's why it didn't go as far, at least towards the basket, but still closer to the Chainbreaker, so let's see if we can make this. Ah, dang, it dropped. Alright guys, we're on hole 3. This one's a par 3, 240 feet. Basket straight ahead through this gap. best play on this one typically is like a straight to understable mid-range. So I'm just going to try and take these, throw them flat to maybe a touch of anhyzer on a forehand. Just try and get them to push straight and finish right. Main reason being there's more room out to the right to where you can finish and not be in some tall grass or in some briars or some crap over there. So just try and get these flat through the gap and finish right. Ah, too low. Okay, I still probably in circle 2. I need to give them just a touch of anhyzer too. There it is. Oh, dang. That's the hard part about this, is like if you give them that touch of anhyzer, it's really easy for them to hit on the left side, but both of them should be easy pars at the worst. Not high enough. Dang. Nope, pulled it. Alright guys, we're on hole 4. This one's a par 4, 441 feet. The basket's up there on top of the hill, as you can see, but the fairway we're trying to follow goes up to the right, then cuts back into the left, kind of like a question mark. This is just going to be a nice hole to kind of just throw these as hard as I can and just see if there is any difference in stability between the two, or if they're just that similar. Just going to try and give them a touch of anhyzer out of the hand, but mainly just try and give them a good amount of height. Okay, that should be fun. I'll also be curious to see if I can actually get a birdie with either one of these on this hole. Okay. Okay, so I think I got a hold of the Xenon a little bit better than the Chainbreaker on that one, and I think that may be the main reason why you saw a little bit of different stability on that hole. But I definitely would say the Chainbreaker does feel like it's a tick more overstable than the Xenon. Actually went a little long. That's surprising. I pulled that one too. Dadgummit. Ooh, went way long too. Oh, dang it. Headwind held it up. Go. Alright guys, we're on hole 5. This one's a par 4, 350 feet. Off the tee, we're trying to go straight for about 150 to 200 feet. From there, you've got 2 separate gaps, but both of them lead to the same fairway, which goes down to the right. Down there, the basket's on the edge of a hill with OB behind it. So the main thing off the tees, we're just trying to get out there and either set ourselves up with either the short gap or the long gap. So I think I'm going to do is I'm going to throw both of them on a slight anhyzer on the backhand, just so that way I don't have to worry about going in the rough on the right. And if I'm not lined up with either one of the 2 gaps, I can just go over the top if I really need to. So should work out pretty well. We'll see. Big skip, big skip. Oh yeah, that'll be really good. I think that'll be lined up fairly well with the long gap. That would keep it flat. That's it. Okay, we're good. There we go. Okay, so from here you can see we're lined up with the short gap, which is a lot more direct, which isn't really great for these, especially since I'm more off to the left side where I'm going to have to pretty much go for a forehand. But we'll just see. Luckily this is the less stable of the 2, so just going to try and get it to land soft. Okay, We're not out of bounds. That's the main thing. Okay, so from the Chainbreaker, we've got some interesting options because I've still got the long gap, but we're so far up here that it really doesn't make sense to want to go that way. So I think I'm gonna have to go over the top over here off to the left with forehand. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm gonna have to do. Well, it's also nice because we've got a right to left wind so that should kind of smash this down, but see if I can get this high enough up there to actually get over these trees. Ooh, that dropped immediately. Okay, I think that'll be down there for a putt. All right, so I don't really have the option to lay this up because the Chainbreaker's about a little outside of circle 1 for a birdie look. And this is probably about the same distance, but I need to run this so I don't lose a stroke. Nope. Oh no. Okay, it didn't roll out of bounds, but it's gonna be a tricky putt from there. So if I was trying to be competitive, I wouldn't run this putt, but I've never birdied this hole before, so I want to get it. Got a little bit of a headwind. I just got to make sure I don't loft it like I did that last putt. Like right at band height, we should be fine. Ah, oh, dang. All right, so this one's for the Chainbreaker. Ooh, man, I got dropped. And this one's for the Xenon. Oh man, that time it didn't drop. All right guys, we're on hole 6. This one's a par 3, 180 feet. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's just up here, just barely off to the right. So I'm just gonna be trying to throw either some flat forehands or maybe just a touch of anhyzer. Main goal is just gonna be getting through the gap, because if you hit the gap and kick left or right, it's pretty much a guaranteed bogey. So main goal is to hit the gap. Oh, too high. Dang it. Okay. I think that'll be fine. That'll at least be a par. There we go. Come back. Okay. A little long, but that'll be a putt. Oh. I wasn't wrong. This is technically a putt, but this is not gonna be great. All right, guys, we're on hole 7. This one's a par 3, 260 feet. Basket straight ahead. Biggest thing to pay attention to is we've got an island green marked by the pavement and this long grass directly in front of us. But just gonna be throwing some hyzers out there, see if we can get an ace. Nothing crazy. Oh yeah, perfect. That's lower. Get a big skip, come on. Oh, that's not what I meant, but oh well, we'll make those putts. Ooh, snuck it in there. All right guys, we're on hole 8. This one's a par 4, 400 feet. Basket's out here way off to the right on the other side of this pond. Main thing to pay attention to is, like I said, there's a pond, but it's the OB's marked by this pavement right here. You can see straight in front of us. So the perfect play is to try and get to land on top of this hill on the left. But if we throw it into the side of the hill, it's perfectly fine. Just not gonna have as good a footing. But just gonna take these, rip them on some anhyzer, and just try and get them as far as out there as we can, so we have an easy approach shot in the green. get down. Stick. Okay. That's fine. Sit down. Okay. We're good. Nope. That's it. Okay. Oh my gosh. Alright guys, we're on hole 9, final hole of the video. This one's a par 3, 261 feet. Just dead straight ahead between these trees. Also got a nice like head right to left wind. So I think I'm just gonna try and just pump these at the trees on the left side of the basket, just try and get them to fade out in front of them. Hopefully push up there into the green. Good grief, that thing is so beefy. Roll out, okay. We can work with that. There it is. Get in the bucket. Ooh. Oh, God, that was horrible. Alright guys, that finished up our round out here with the Chainbreaker and the Xenon. Thanks to me missing a 10-foot putt on hole 8, the Chainbreaker was able to win, which I think the Chainbreaker deserved to win because I was much more consistent with it throughout the entire round than the Xenon. And I think the main reason for that is because the Chainbreaker is so much more reliably overstable. And obviously the Xenon has been in my bag for a year, and so it's going to be a little bit more beat in, but I really think even a fresh Xenon is not going to be as overstable as these Chainbreakers. The thing that makes me really excited about this Chainbreaker though is that I'm curious to see how it's going to sit in my bag, because this could also kick out my other Chainbreaker alongside this one, so that could open up some more slots in the bag to where I could have this one be my like super beefy Firebird that's, you know, like the most overstable disc in my bag, and then I could have something a little bit more similar to the Xenon where it's not as overstable as this, but it's going to be reliable, kind of having like a Firebird and a Sexton Firebird combo in my bag. And while I am kind of sad to see the Xenon go, because I have, like I said, it's been in my bag for a long time, I really enjoyed having it. Throwing it this much today kind of showed me that it's also very similar to my Thunderbird, that green one that's like my straight to overstable slot. It's not as overstable as that, but I was able to get similar flights to this. So I'm wondering if I was having a little bit of overlap in my bag that I wasn't noticing because of this one and the Thunderbird. But if you're interested in checking out these Chainbreakers, I think Dustin still might have a few of them. So I definitely reach out to him on Instagram. I'll have a link to that down in the description. Or if you want to try out the flat top tilt-esque ones that I've been talking about this whole time, if you go down below, I have a link to Goliath's shop where you can go pick up some of those if you're interested. And if you use my code BenHoward10, that'll get you 10% off your order. But yeah guys, that's pretty much everything. So if you're interested in getting the giveaway and getting the Xenon, I need you to go down, like, subscribe, and then tell me in the comments what disc is in your bag is most similar to this in that reliable, overstable 9-speed Firebird cap wrap slot. And do you think you'd be interested in putting this disc in your bag over that mold? I'll pick somebody out next Friday or a week from today, whatever day this video gets out. But thank y'all so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and y'all have a good one.